Wednesday night saw Olympiacos take on Fenerbahçe in a EuroLeague matchup with both teams in the lower half of the table. With Olympiacos sitting in 11th place with a 7-7 record and Fenerbahçe in 14th place with a 5-10 record. It's safe to say Fenerbahçe were fired up as they got a well-fought win against a strong Olympiacos team. The game also saw the return of Kostas sloukas, who played for Fenerbahçe for 5 years, as well as winning 3 EuroLeague titles during his time there. Having a former player return makes the scout a little easier, as it was clear what Fenerbahçe was trying to do, and that was to get the ball out of Kostas sloukas' hands. If any of you have seen the way Kostas sloukas plays, you will understand why Fenerbahçe would want to do that, as he is very ball dominant and is much better with the ball than without. The focus of today's video is how Fenerbahçe defended two very similar guards, one being Kostas sloukas and the other Vassilis Spanoulis. The reason they are very similar is they both are at their best when the ball is in their hands, especially in the pick and roll. I think Fenerbahçe can look back on the game and be happy with their defensive effort, limiting sloukas to only 5 points. And we are going to take a look at how they did that. Throughout the game, Fenerbahçe full court pressed, forcing other players to bring up the ball and run the show. If he did bring the ball up the floor, they would often trap him as he was about to cross the half court to disrupt the flow of the offense and take time off the clock. They often trapped him in the pick and roll, especially when his ball screens were close to the halfway line. And if the screen was just above the 3-point line, they hard hedged to force him towards the halfway line and away from the basket. Olympiacos early on was able to punish Fenerbahçe as sloukas was able to get the ball out the trap or hedge, and they were able to find the open man and make shots. The consistent effort to trap and hedge did its job. Although they didn't force many turnovers, they did take time off the clock and limit his effectiveness throughout the game. A big reason Fenerbahçe was able to trap was because Olympiacos like to run their ball screens above the 3-point line. Now this could work in favour of either the offense or the defense. If the offense are able to get the ball out the trap, then they will have the numbers advantage and the defense has a greater distance to recover. It was clear that Fenerbahçe was not trying to gamble, as they allowed the most obvious and easiest pass out to be open, as well as leaving the hardest pass open. They understood that they looked for the short roll, so they tagged early every time they trapped. Pay attention here to what the first rotation guy does. The defense knows where the ball wants to go next. So look at how he stunts, almost daring him to drive. By stunting like this, forces the ball handler to throw a lob pass over the top, which gives his teammate more time to get to the corner. If the ball handler decided to drive, this would work in Fenerbahçe's favour, as he'll be going into 2 recovering defenders. If the offense was able to make that easy pass to the corner, the defense would be giving up easy corner threes, which did happen throughout the game. So it's key for the on-ball defender to make his man put the ball on the floor, forcing him baseline, as that's where the help is recovering too. Olympiacos, as I said, were able to get the ball out the trap and punish Fenerbahçe by moving the ball and finding the open man. I've seen this amongst other teams when they play against the trap or the hard hedge, and that's 2 things. 1, the ball screens will always be a few steps off of the 3-point line. And 2, they will always have a safety or field guy that moves towards the ball. In this scenario, Olympiacos have 2, but the defense takes one of them away, which works in their favour if they can get the ball out the trap. And here's why. Once the ball gets out, the offense now have a 3 versus 2 with 3 recovering defenders. And look who is the next rotation to the corner. Anytime he did bring the ball up, Fenerbahçe would send a big to run and jump, again forcing him to give the ball up. This worked well for Fenerbahçe, as if Olympiacos wanted their offense to run smoothly, then the big would continue the action, as usually sloukas would come back for the ball. They did trick Olympiacos into a few quick shots as a result. Moving on to one of my favourite players and future EuroLeague legend, Vassilis Spanoulis. Fenerbahçe guarded him in a similar way in terms of trapping him occasionally, but the main pick and roll coverage Fenerbahçe used against him was either the hard hedge or they switched. Both coverages worked well, as when they hard hedged, he rarely attacked. And when they switched, it would usually be one of Fenerbahçe's agile 4 or 5 men who are able to stay in front of him. However, he won't be able to always stop a great player from scoring. Overall, I think Fenerbahçe did a great job of executing their game plan, and I really like how their team play. So hopefully heading into the new year, they can build some momentum and pick up a few more wins. I've been Coach Pierce, and I'll see you all next time.